Now here it is in place. Now, as you can see, it matches up pretty well. The piece closest to us, this piece here, that's that stuff there. So that's that, and that's all the new stuff along there. So if you look at it there, it probably matches pretty well. You can't actually see that the piece closest to the wall is gloss and the one furthest away is matte. So it's actually blending in really well. So that's, as I thought, it's fine. And that's where it's going to go. I'll probably need some help putting it in there, but that's okay. And I'll also need a tiny piece up furthest against the wall, probably about, looks like there's about 40 mil, need about another 40 mil to go up in against the wall, but that's fine. Really pleased with that, really pleased with the way that's turned out. And now that I've done the glue up, I won't need to glue, quote unquote, anymore. And in fact, that looks so good. I'm tempted, because I've still got a ton of this, of that stuff there, of the shorter boards. I've got a ton of them, those shorter boards. I've got 4 packs altogether, and that's only 3 boards that I use there. So I'm tempted to take this board up, this one here, because there's only that one board I need to do, because you see there's a bit at the end there, a bit at the end there, and a fill in there, and I need to put another fill in there. I'm sorely tempted to take that up, trim that edge off, and then use the same technique to put some more boards in there to do right up against the front there, and not put tiles in at all. In fact, yeah, I think I'm now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I'm convinced that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to put some more boards in there, because I'll take that up and trim it off and put some more boards in there. So that's excellent. So that'll be the finish of the whole. The cartons there. Might have a tiny little bonfire at the front. Shh, don't tell anybody. And so that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah, pleased with that. Really pleased with that. So that's this stuff, the new stuff I've got. As you can see, they're much shorter lengths. And I've got 3 packs and 3.5 packs left still. So that'll be plenty to go in there. But so it's all good. I'll put the lights on so you can see it with the lights on. So it's now all over bar the shouting. The next thing to do is the door frames. I'm going to put the door jambs et al. In. There, and there. I've got 3 to go in. And then once I've done that, I can then come around and put in the skirting, and the skirting will be going around the bottom there. Got to trim off some of that plastic there. Oh no, one more thing. Sorry, one more thing. I've got to put trim up around here. I've cut one piece of trim to go up here. Probably cut it the length once I get the floor in, and then I've got another length of trim to go up around there, along there and down there. Once I've done that and the door frames, I can then come in and do the skirting. And the skirting, I think, will be fairly easy to do. I've settled on the stuff I'm getting from Bunnings, 18 by 65, I think it is. So it's going to come up another 65. So with the floor and the underlay, the floor and the underlay is 15 mil. 65, 75, 80. So it's going to be 80. The top of the trim is going to be 80 from the concrete. So that'll cover all of that dodgy paintwork down the bottom there. Yeah, so it's coming together really well. Really pleased with it. Really happy with the paintwork. I mean, it's not absolutely perfect. If I was a pedant, if I was more of a pedant than I am, I would spend the next 6 months fixing everything up and redoing everything and putting more coats of paint on, but sorry, I'm not that much of a pedant. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with everything as it's come together. You can see the dust from cutting up the boards. The dust extraction doesn't work perfectly. So I've got dust I've got to clean up from cutting up the boards. But yeah, that's... So that's as it is now. Now, future plans. Okay, future plans. So in here, future plans. This is going to be my playroom, as it were. I'm going to have electronics, leatherworking, miscellaneous hobbies in here, so that this will be fitted out with electronics workbench with a leatherworking, couple of leatherworking benches, a layout bench and a glide bench and die bench and all that sort of stuff. Leatherworking, and I'll probably have storage racks somewhere for my leather goods. Not exactly sure how I'm going to lay it out yet. I haven't decided. This is a spare office at the moment, so I may have somebody who wants to use that. Entirely up to them. It's free to use if they want. Going to be a little alcove, so a couple of lounge chairs in here for comfortable sitting, maybe a coffee table and a TV. I've got a Sony TV down in the house that I don't use at the moment, and that can come up here and we can use that, and with a little Apple TV. And this is going to be the kitchen, maybe some cupboards here and some cupboards along here with a little fridge. I've got a fridge and freezer out in the other room at the moment. And they're going to come in here. I've got a hot water service. The one with the cap on it, that's cold, that's the incoming, and the other longer one, that's going to be for the hot water service. So that'll be going to have hot water along here on the cupboards, but I'm also going to have hot water back here in the bathroom, and that's that pipe there. You can see it curling around back in there, and got an open end on it. That's going to be the return for the hot water, and the other pipe that you can see going up with the fittings on it and the cap on it, that's the cold water feed from the mains pressure pump, which is just the other side of that wall there. So I'm going to have hot water in here as well, because that water is as cold as it will get away during the winter. It's really, I mean, it's cold anyway because there's a massive heat container. 96,000 litres has a lot of heat, so that's quite cold all year round. Networking point. But what I'm going to do here, I'm not entirely sure. I think the power tools are going to remain in the centre here. I might turn the table saw around the other way so that I can feed wood back through this way. And I might also put the other tools. This is on casters. That extractor is temporary. I've got an extractor up there that I'm going to use. And I might put the table saw. The other table saw is already on casters, but they don't work really well. They need a bit of attention. So might put this table saw on casters, might put these on casters here, lift them up a bit, and that'll bring them all up 100 high. The casters are all going to be the same height, so they'll all come up exactly the same height, which means the other table saw has got to come up 100 mil. Now, that mitre saw will probably come down here along this line here. So it'll probably be through this line along here with a set of cupboards built to the same design as these other cupboards I built. And then along here is probably going to be storage. I might even put the mitre saw along here. I'm not convinced yet. So I've got a couple of band saws, and the band saws should be around the centre area with the other power tools. But I've got a what do you call it? A lathe. Now I might put the lathe along here as well. Bring the lathe in and put that along here, and have a take down from because the dust is going to come. Extraction is going to come along here, so I might have a little hood here for the lathe, for the dust extraction for the lathe, to help take the cuttings away. And then over here, this is my plan at least, over roughly where this table saw in this bench is here, I'm going to put a workbench, and it'll come out about a metre and a half maybe from this wall, and this wall is going to contain all of my hand tools, cupboards, hand tools, et al., so that they're handy with the bench, and I'll be able to get around all sides of the benches. I've got a plan for the benches. My son made a bench of blackwood. What is it? Ironwood. Anyway, it's a really, really hard Australian hardwood, and you can buy it. You can buy lengths of it for use in your garden for relatively cheaply. It's a fraction of the price of most of the other wood, and it's not dressed. And I've got the jointer and everything in, jointer and planer here, so that I can dress it myself. But what I'll probably do is let it season for about 12 months before I actually build it. But I've got another bench that'll come in here in the meantime, and it's going to be about the same size as the bench anyway, so I can use that in the meantime while the iron bark dries out. And then once it's dry enough, once it's down to a relatively dry, I can put that in. So I've still got stuff to come from the other shed, still got setup to do. I've got to clean all of this has got to come out of here, and that's stuff that's going in the shed, like air conditioners and sinks and toilets and things like that. So that's going away. All of that stuff's going away. Those fridge and freezer are going away. So that means that my sharpening station is going to be relatively close to where my bench is, which is going to be about here. Probably the edge of the bench will be where that line is on the concrete. So it's going to be relatively close to the sharpening station, so that I can still get around it, still get to the sharpening station, and it's going to give me plenty of space. So I'm going to have all of this space in here, and maybe even put the table saws into here, and leave the machinery up that way. I'm not sure, really. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'll put stuff in here and see how it goes. And my son John is really, really good with spatial awareness. He's brilliant at this stuff, and I'll get him to come up here, and when I'm putting stuff in, he'll point and I'll put the stuff down. He's very good at that. I mean, he's got a tiny workshop at the moment, which is a bit frustrating for him. He definitely, absolutely needs more space to work, but he's limited with the size of his shed and the available land, and needs outdoor living. He's got a beautiful outdoor living area is built with a concrete top, pizza oven, outdoor sink, and has done a brilliant job really, and landscaped it. Just so good at that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to get him to come up here and give me a hand putting things in places, because I'm not bad, but he's the next level at that stuff. So it'll be good having him here to help me out with that stuff. But yeah, so everything's coming together, as you can see. And as I usually say, slowly it goes, and surely it will all come together in the end. So there you go.